Hello, this is Killer Ann, and today I'm actually reviewing a trilogy. Not the Game of Thrones. I'm still looking for that last book. I think I know where it is. Unfortunately, because of a recent back injury, I can't get to it just yet. I'm still trying to recover. Once again, I actually can't go to work because back injury. But that's enough about that. Today I'm actually going to be reviewing Forgotten Realms trilogy book from R.A. Salvatore, The Thousand Orcs, which is actually the Hunter's Blade trilogy. I did read it. It's definitely an enjoyable trilogy. There was a few flaws, though, but I'll get to them later. Basically, there's an army of orcs, trolls, and frost giants basically coming down on the lands. Think of the Lord of the Rings, all those orcs and goblins coming down, but instead of just being like a wizard or some evil eye thing on a tower, it's basically like an orc chieftain and the leader of the frost giants. But what's interesting is instead of just showing the heroes, it shows a lot of the villain side too, including that the relationship they weren't actually allies. The orcs and the frost giants aren't actually like the closest of allies. In fact, they actually kind of despise each other. But that comes in later. And basically, it goes through the point of view of, I think, Drizzt. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. He's a drow. He also has a trio of other people. Basically, someone who's good with the bow, a barbarian, and a halfling, not named Frodo, but all of them actually end up trying to fight this off with the help of the dwarves and soon a few other races too. There's definitely a lot going on because it goes from character to character. Things happen. There's a lot of fighting, a ton of action. My one problem with this is that it definitely dives into politics with the dwarves, especially in the first book, which I ended up actually not caring a lot about, which kind of slowed down the story because it felt like for a few chapters the story was really going nowhere. There's an army basically coming after them, and there's like all these things happening. That's at least in the first book. The second book I thought was actually the best because it's basically like it's like Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. It's like the aftermath of a big battle. Some of the heroes are separated. You got Drizzt, who's by himself, trying to survive and take out as many of them as he can. And you also have a couple of other elves who also get involved. Also, a few characters actually do die. A couple of them that you actually get to know a lot about, and it's kind of sad. I'm not going to say who. And there's like I said, like the entire series is like action packed. Think of like Lord of the Rings, if a good chunk of it's just action. And like Game of Thrones, there was definitely a ton of characters too. Sometimes I actually lost track of them. Also, there was a few characters that actually had some cop-outs, where it's like, oh, he's dead. Oh my god, that's a character I knew about for about 2 books now, and I actually liked him, and then it turns out, oh, he's still alive. So, yeah, basically, this is definitely a long read. It definitely took me a good year and a half to get through all this, although with all of my other books too, so. The best one's definitely the second one. That's my favorite one. First one definitely was a little slow. Could have been probably reduced down by 50 pages and would have gotten to the point. Third one definitely was as action-packed. However, the ending was just a bit confusing because it looked like they had this perfect plan, and it's just like, wait, what? Like, the trilogy ended kind of like unsatisfactory. I wasn't 100% satisfied with the ending because I'm pretty sure that there were some plot points that were probably going to go over in other books, but in this trilogy there's some plot points that I felt like were unresolved, and for a trilogy to do that, I didn't quite like that. What is my ratings for these? The first one, definitely a strong 7. I can't really see myself actually going under it. Second one, definitely 8.5. It's my favorite one of the series. Third one, 7.5. Definitely disappointing, but definitely wasn't as, like, what's that word? I forgot about it. Definitely wasn't as slow as the first one. Overall, it's definitely a good trilogy. I would recommend to read these if you're really into, like, Forgotten Realms, Dungeons and Dragons, even if you're, like, into fantasy books in general. If you don't even know the lore, which I don't because I've actually never played Forgotten Realms, it brings you up to speed, and all you just need to know is orcs in attacking dwarves, and Adventure Party comes in to help them out. Some great battle scenes, some great tactics. This is just a pretty good series. I was about to say fantastic. It's not like fantastic, but it's also not terrible at all. I do have a few more books. I gotta see if any of them are trilogy or standalones, because I like to actually review trilogies if together, with the exception of the vintage books, because I have like books 2 or 5 or 4 or even 6 of something, and I don't have them. But these ones I did get. So hopefully when my back is better, I can actually go in and dig out that Game of Thrones book and actually review it, because I've been wanting to review them for a while. But unfortunately, I can't get to them right now. I'm pretty sure I know where it is. It's underneath some heavy stuff in a box. So until next time, this is Killer Ant Reviews.